Hi, I am Devaraj. I'm going to explain about almost the same topic. I will get into more details about hashing and how the Bitcoin is encrypted. So, Bitcoin should be understood. Basically, it is a Bitcoin is a protocol. It itself is not a commodity. Bitcoin is a protocol. Bitcoins are the commodity which is being transmitted. So what's a Bitcoin? It's a P2P protocol, cryptocurrency, and it's based on cryptographic primitives. And clients and servers are processing to calculate the cryptographic puzzles, which are your transactions for which they are being called as miners. And it's based on a blockchain. Blockchain is nothing but the growing common ledger of all transactions happening over the Bitcoin, right? From the beginning of the first coin till the 12 million coins, we have the whole transactions details available on the P2P network. So it's based on the blockchain. And B2C value for the Bitcoin is based on the supply and demand and how many people are using it. All those things determines the value of each BTC. So this is the Bitcoin pyramid. The Bitcoin protocol is in the bottom of the line. On top of it, we have a software, which is open source, of course, and we have payments, economy, and the community around which uses the Bitcoin. On top of it, we stand as a user. So we have 5 roles involved in terms of Bitcoin being used. One is a scammer who wants to hack, get some hold of Bitcoin. Other one is miner. Miner is involved in generating the transactions being secured by using his processing power of his hardware and software. So, miner is being awarded with bitcoins for the service which he provides. And exchange is something like you want to convert it into your local currency. It's done with exchanges. And trader, of course, whenever some value is seen, we get a trader. As like you are doing stock trading, you can also do the Bitcoin trading. And as it is fluctuating a lot, trader have a good role. He can make good profit out of it. And hoarder, who saves the money for, as it is not awarded with properties which keeps it secure from inflation. So I have this image from net. I can show it in detail. So this is how Bitcoin works. It's an infographic slide which explains each and every transaction and elements in the transaction. So I'm just getting into detail how it works, how a Bitcoin transaction works. There are wallets and addresses. Everyone is encouraged to have as many wallets as possible to keep your Bitcoin safe, right? It's not as in a bank account where you can have only one, you can have more wallets. Keep your Bitcoins distributed among your wallets. So it is secured even if some private key of a wallet is hacked or lost, your whole inventory will not be lost. So let us consider there is Bob and allies who have Bitcoin wallets on their computers. Wallets are nothing but files that provide multiple Bitcoin address access. So you can, as a wallet, it is simple unique number which have the Bitcoin address associated with it. So as on when I am going about downloading a app which does Android app which does Bitcoin wallet, we have it with a unique number. That's all about it. So now it is ready to receive a Bitcoin. As you get an app downloaded, it's going to be empty, right? So going ahead, it gives the ability to get any Bitcoin address getting associated with your wallet number. So an address is a string similar to this, and each address has its own balance of bitcoins. So Bob creates a new bitcoin address for Alice to send her payment to. So this is about the public key and private key. This particular wallet have two properties on it. One is public key, which is being shared by Bob to anyone to get money to his wallet. Whereas he have a private key which have to be kept in a secured way. We can hash it and keep it secured. So when Alice tells her Bitcoin client to send money from her wallet to Bob's, there is a transaction taking place. So what happens basically is Alice Bitcoin, what she have in her wallet, is being signed with private key, right? As Amit explained about signing process. So it is signed with the private key which only Alice knows about. So once the signing happen, it is given with like email, you are keeping address to and from, and it is signed with private key of Alice and it is sent across. So once the transaction is done, means transaction is initiated, there are the miners over the network who gets into securing each and every transaction in a harder way by computing bundles of transaction of all transaction which happened over the past 10 minutes. How they do the computation? It's about cryptographic hashing. So what they do is they keep on hashing the message, which is the transaction, by adding nuances. So you can see like even a small change in the message will result into different hash output. So nobody can change the hash message, cryptographic hashed message, then it will result in a other way. So each and every transaction is being cryptographically hashed and added with nonces. Nonces is nothing but a random number. So when it comes about a miner winning a transaction, means a miner is awarded for BTC once when he can get a transaction secured. So the first miner, in this case, we have Gary, who wins the mining process, who first came with more zeros in the hash. So thus the highest possible power given for creating this transaction being secured is the winner of mining process. So once he has done, again, you can ask like anyone can go ahead creating a hash with more zeros by doing some math. No, it's not that simple, because miner himself doesn't know how to add zeros. He can add zeros as much as possible only by trying different alternatives. That is done fully on his hardware and software which he have. So once the mining is done, he get awarded in the BTC. This transaction is always hashed with previous transaction information. Thus it is lock with lock like this. So anyone to do a double transaction, it is very hard. Theoretically it is possible, but doing it in over the network, you need more power in terms of mining. So this is what about a Bitcoin transaction is about. It's a block. Block is nothing but it's first n bits equally 0. The n is automatically determined based on the difficulty. Level of difficulty is from who comes first with largest number of n, which is more zeros in cryptographic hashing. So blockchain is a chain of blocks having whole information about transactions. So anyone sending money over a network is through the blocks using the blockchains. It is, of course, secured by collective computing power of miners, and every block contains hash of previous block. So the blockchain ultimately is the public ledger which have detail about all the transactions happened over the history. So hashing, this is the simple conversion of numbers to base 58. I am just explaining what it is equivalent to the numbers being converted into base 58. So if we want 4ix being converted into number, this is how we get it converted. So any message is converted into number by base 58 conversion. The hashing is something similar about it, where any particular message is converted into a fixed length of numbers as an output. So when a single letter changes, the whole hash value changes. Okay, what about cryptographic hashing? It's about using the cryptographic primitives for hashing. So when we hash a message with hash function, it is very easy to hash it, but you can't easily find the value of hash. So Bitcoin uses these processes like 2 SHA-256 plus a RIPEMD 160. These are all the hashing done to hash your transaction. So how the Bitcoin public address looks like is something with public key hash step is equivalent to SHA-256 of your public address. So based on the network, you are given with a prefix. In this case, it is 00. What Bitcoin uses is elliptic curve cryptography. It is something like, I'll just skip this as it will take more time. I'm running out of time. So checksum is something which comes with usual our barcode stuff. So you have the total of odd numbers, total of even numbers, and get the last digit of the total of both, which is 2 over here, and reduce it minus the length, you get the 8, which is at the end of the number. So this is the checksum. So here in Bitcoins, the checksum is done in this way, where you use 2 SHA-256 with checksum first 4 bytes of the plain binary address. Binary address is equivalent to your public hash and checksum. So BTC transaction in a nutshell, you can say like a block is composed of header and a group of transaction. A transaction is identified by the hash. Blocks are identified by a hash of the header. There is this script signature, which is ECDSA signature on small data, which is part of your transaction. So what about hacking the Bitcoins? So Bitcoin code is, it's open source, you can check that out. It's highly written by, you can say, highly audited by experts. That's the code level, how it works. And you can find this statement in FAQ of Bitcoin wiki. Bitcoin doesn't ask that it uses trust any institution. Its security is based on cryptography. And most of the security issues have nothing to do with Bitcoin technology as it. The Bitcoin can be stolen as your hard cash getting stolen, but as a technology, it can't fail you. That much we can say. And theoretically, it is possible to rewrite a transaction history, but it's very hard to compute it, which might not worth the effort you spent for writing your own transaction history. And devices, still now, it's not an issue over here. And again, as far as people are working on multi-signature transaction where it will remain as it is uncentralized, still we can have a common place where it have the copies. So this is something which is being under work. So there are cases of Bitcoin thefts happened over the years. All those cases were related to somewhere private keys were kept in open, because of which it got stolen. It's nothing to do with anyone have hacked into the network. That kind of things didn't came up as of now. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Devraj. It was really good. Have a seat. I would like to call upon Josh. Thanks, Josh.